It's time now for another broadcast of The Young Musician. These programs introduce new works into the repertoire, offer fresh insights into established compositions, and discuss pianistic and musical topics. Our host for the series is Armenian pianist and composer Shahan Adzrouni. Mr. Adzrouni.
Today the program is devoted to the music of Israeli composers of older generation. During 1940s, the style of some composers in the Middle East was described as Eastern Mediterranean, as opposed to Mediterranean idiom, which is expressed in some of the works of Bizet, Debussy, and Ravel. Seeking to combine European musical technique with traditional elements of Middle Eastern music, Jewish composers such as Paul Ben-Haim, Erdon Partosh, Chaim Alexander, and Alexander Boscovich exploited the Middle Eastern style of melodic invention, rhythmic organization, and instrumental coloring to create a national idiom. A venture that is, although difficult to achieve, is nevertheless valid. Perhaps regrettably, today Middle Eastern traditions are fast losing ground in a country where all kinds of Western music are continually performed and broadcast. If not all, then most of the new generation of composers are intent in following the footsteps of their American and European counterparts, producing works that are at best only duplications of Western creations. As I announced in the beginning, today I will deal with the older generation of Israeli composers, in particular with the works of Paul Ben-Haim and Chaim Alexander. Mr. Ben-Haim was born in Germany in 1897, studied conducting and composition at the Munich Academy of Music. He moved to Palestine in 1933 and was active as a teacher in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, where he presently resides. I will talk about and play Ben-Haim's 5 pieces for piano, Opus 34. The edition I'm using is published by Leeds Music Corporation, an organization now extinct. The first piece in this set is Pastoral, a work that seems to imitate the sound of Middle Eastern flute. Its quiet charm and bucolic character lend well to its improvisatory nature. Intermezzo, the second piece in the set by Ben-Haim, is similar in character to the previous work. It is pastoral, lyrical, and improvisatory. Capriccio Agitato, a rather bombastic work, seems to lack any kind of formal reference, aside from some motivic elements that surface once in a while. This is the kind of work that pleases an audience without offering much musical substance. I would recommend it to pupils who have certain pianistic facilities but lack musicianship. Canzonetta, the next composition in Paul Ben-Haim's 5 pieces for piano, is the most successful in the selection. It is distinguished by its tender lyricism and pastoral imagery. Here is Canzonetta. The last piece, Toccata, is the best-known composition in the series. It makes extensive use of repeated notes, relies on few melodic ideas, and brings about a loud ending. It is comparatively easy to perform, yet it projects a powerfully bravura style. I performed the 5 pieces for piano by Paul Ben-Haim. The other Israeli composer I will discuss today is Chaim Alexander. He was also born in Germany, although 18 years earlier in 1915. He studied in Stern Conservatory in Berlin and immigrated to what was then Palestine. Presently, Professor Alexander heads the Department of Theory at the Rubin Academy of Music in Jerusalem, and he's a visiting professor of musicology at Tel Aviv University. He is the recipient of many awards for composition, including a first prize for his piano solo, Patterns, used at the 1973 coveted International Arthur Rubinstein Piano Competition. The works I will present now are basically didactic in nature. The first one is From the East, consisting of 2 pieces, Lullaby and Toccata. These 2 pieces are based on a symmetrical scale of alternating half steps and whole steps. The scale is known as the Messiaen mode, used by the contemporary French composer Olivier Messiaen in some of his earlier compositions. The pieces are based on the scale starting on C, Here then is Lullaby and Toccata by Chaim Alexander. That was Lullaby and Toccata by Israeli composer Chaim Alexander. Here is A Strange Dream, a ruminative composition, again based on the Messiaen mode I discussed earlier. Next, I will play Meet My Dog, a slower piece, and Ball Game, a more spirited work. Both are quite simple and attractive for young players. Mr. Alexander's compositions include exercises for that particular piece. These compositions are the works of a composer who is in total control of his craft, which he puts into imaginative use in a most attractive fashion. This is Shahan Arzruni. So long.
Thank you, Mr. Arzruni. We welcome your comments on this program and suggestions for future broadcasts. Write to The Young Musician, WNYC FM, New York, New York, 10007. And be with us next Saturday morning at 11:30 for another broadcast of The Young Musician.